Welcome back. Good morning to, well, round 2 of the biggest ever European regional. Again.
Exactly.
Again, live from Bochum.
Exactly.
I'm Connor, and I'm joined by one of our guest commentators today, Marco. How you doing?
Hey, I'm alright. I'm perfectly fine. Germany is a bit cold for my likings. Probably my Italian genes being like, oh, it's too cold. But the atmosphere here is very great.
Yeah,
you can feel the tension as well.
That first game.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just like
the top deck of the street.
What a way to kick off the day.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We're actually not messing around today, like in terms of our matchups. We actually have a really cool matchup coming up.
Exactly.
So as part of RK9. I know a lot of you are aware, it's the Perro family from the States, basically help run RK9. And this time they've actually been joined by their son. Their son has made the trip over, and we actually have Xander Perro appearing on stream, and he will be up against another. Well, if you're in Europe and you're part of Eurofonte, the only person I've ever seen actually post on Eurofonte, now Heyfonte's gone, the only one I've ever seen post on there is Benjamin Pham.
Exactly. There are these people in the community that are always active, and we really should be thankful about them. But at the same time, it's always the same faces. But
it's always
and you see, like, we want also to give them space right now. Like, we bring them on stream, and we have these titans of the games. Before we had Cremascoli and Torres, both regional and international champions. I mean, the international champion for Torres. And right now we actually get the list, so we'll see what they're playing. It seems like Pham is playing Blacephalon GX. Haven't seen that in a while.
They haven't got their headsets on yet.
Oh,
Why don't the players have their headsets on yet? Is a question I need to ask.
Well, what is instead Perro playing? I do see. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
it's a BDF in my opinion.
we do have a graphic that I would cut to, but my the cutting tool is currently playing up. But if we cut to the graphic in a second, there we go. It's come back. So we can actually see their top results, and so we actually haven't got the sprites yet.
Yes.
For the list from Xander from Daytona, but
that's right. Like I don't think he has already the best results.
Yeah.
And you see also how many different decks he's playing. There are these people, these players that are just playing so many decks, and they all master them in like very little time. Because of experience generally. And it doesn't seem like the new meta is going to stop them at all.
No, and he's actually someone who's known for being super creative with his list. Like whenever you look at whenever he puts a 6 prizes article out, you go and check his list, and it's always like, that's pretty cool. And he's actually coming in with the Roxy Chomp.
Yes. So and this deck has appeared just recently, and a lot of people, especially in the US, seems to have liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm one of the people who is like, but just play normal Giratina Garchomp.
I don't know, it's just that
Roxy
and Greasing is able to put up so much damage, and of course it combos with Garchomp and Giratina. You're able to set up those 240 damage, and a lot of the GXs have kind of that range of damage. And as well, it draws you 6 cards. That is insane for a supporter. And you're discarding cards you will have discarded anyway.
And we're
underway.
already
started.
So as we get into the main game, we have Xander going first.
Oh my god, he started with a Mimikyu. I'm gonna use green.
Yeah, and straight away no greens. And this is why I don't like this deck. It's a greens deck that's trying to not be a greens deck, but it's still a greens deck.
I just started like saying, oh yeah, of course it's a great upgrade, but then he starts with Mimikyu.
It's like so. Obviously, normally when you run the Mismagius engine, you can just KO your Mismagius, draw some cards, then greens, which is great because it actually enforces good ordering. Because it makes you draw your cards to work out what part you're still missing, get your greens. But if you're playing abilities, and Mimikyu is like the only way this deck beats Mewtwo, is by using the Weezing to spread a load of damage and getting the Mewtwo's unable to use their ability. Well, if you're doing that, then suddenly you lose your engine.
But look at that. He didn't have a green or any other. He had the Guzmahala and thing. But now he just drew the Roxy, which means he will be able to draw 6 cards.
But Benjamin didn't have a good turn either.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
was just
and look at his prizes, 2 B strings.
Yeah. Blast burn, and just the first attack of Blacephalon to get the burn damage down.
Bursting burn.
And the Poipole is now set up.
At the same time, like, it's Blacephalon, it's a deck that needs to set up. But at the same time, I think it's really good in this matchup. I mean, generally in the meta right now, because you have all these tag teams with green, and you can they will take a knockout, and in the turn after, you will get a knockout yourself with all those beast rings and being the welder. You're able to hit the right numbers, I think. But right now, this seems to be just a brick matchup. Nobody is really happening.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't play engine decks.
And right now, Xander drew 2 greens, so
he's really going, come on, Mimikyu, off you go. Oh no, you're no longer burned.
Take 2 more damage, there it is.
Yeah, but he's going to be like, but I'm no longer burned.
How many cards do you have now?
He actually wants to take knockout. I think, oh wow, Benjamin hand right now is really horrible. And he drew a Naga Needle. He has a Xander Labs, I think. 2 energies and 2 Naga Needles and a Reset Stamp. That's not going anywhere as well. Persephone is a deck that usually can work with few tools, but it needs it at the right timing.
Yeah, it needs more tools than that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely
is
more
how
than
I
that.
would put it.
Yeah,
Gets the attachment.
I don't think this matchup will be very slow for both players. Xander cannot use green. Benjamin is not throwing anything, so he's not going anywhere. And Benjamin is actually considering whether to evolve. I think that's very smart because if he does evolve... Also, I think they didn't put the damage for the Roxy because they discarded a Weezing on Benjamin's Pokemon. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. In any case, right now, Benjamin is not evolving the Poipole because he needs the Naganadel GX in case he draws it. And he can just discard it with Ultra Conversion, which is kind of the engine of the deck, which I really like. Before Belcephalon, like before Naganadel GX came out, it was very slow and very reliant on what it drew. But right now, if you have that, and also the attack is really good. Oh,
yeah,
wow,
it's a nice flex option.
Gengar Mimikyu?
Very good.
Just talking about that.
It is a Gengar Mimikyu.
Yeah, it is on the list actually. Wow.
Yeah, so Gengar Mimikyu is does more damage for the number of items in hand.
Yeah, exactly. For all
trainers, right?
And also the GX is really good. Like against ADP, you make them lose a turn, and which you can set up. I really like Gengar Mimikyu. I run it in my Malamar list because, well, let's not talk about Malamar because this is not the time to. But Gengar Mimikyu is just so good to hitting all those big numbers that you might not be able to do with just the Giratina and Garchomp. Like right now, I think a deck that has seen some play was the Caramel Metal that was very reliant on tanking all the damage, and that helps a lot. So we see him going for a Symphia and Kettling right now. He's just got a Roxy back, which I really like, but I think, yeah, there's the damage that is still missing because it is kind of missing before. Hopefully we'll get on that. There's nothing too relevant at the moment.
No, but this is actually something that all the decks have benefited from. Like this format is the Tag Call engine. Tag Call, not only getting you the Pokemon and thinning your deck that way, so you can go get your one-of Gengar Mimikyu that he's playing. You can also go and grab your Cynthia Caitlyn. But in all the other decks, it's things like your Guzmahala, your Malolanas. Like, you can just grab a toolbox for the sake of one item. It's insane.
So good. It's so good. Absolutely. And we see him thinking he benched the Gengar Mimikyu, but does not attach any energy to it. Right now, if he wanted to, he could go for a knockout by getting the Miss Magus, but I don't think he wants that. He just wants... Oh, actually, he's retreating. He's going for it. Or he just puts the Mischievous. That's fine, because if he may be able to evolve it...
Yeah, I think he saw the Miss Magius in hand earlier on.
But he cannot use the Mischievous, the Miss Magius, if he has more than 7 cards.
Yeah, so he's got to thin aggressively here. But this lets him fall behind, activate the Karate Belt, start getting
Oh, it just passes,
pressure.
actually.
Yeah, sure.
That's fair enough, to be fair. I would let maybe the Mimikyu then.
Well, there's an argument to leave the Mimikyu there to make Benjamin take the KO on it. Because as soon as that goes, your Green's engine becomes alive again.
Yeah, and as well, like with the Mimikyu down, if Benjamin was to evolve into the Naganadel GX, and there was actually the damage from Roxy that is missing at the moment, I'm not sure. Could we get anyone on that for the damage? Because the reason that before he played Roxy and discarded a Weezing, maybe chat can help me on this one.
It's an optional effect.
Yeah.
So if he
may have decided to not
he may have not chosen to do it. It's an optional.
And they're both really good players, so probably they would have noticed by this time.
So he's
spinning down.
He's like, hang on, can I get to this number of cards? Does this work?
He's not going anywhere, but he might as well just, keep pressuring, knowing that Benjamin is just drawing passing.
Yeah.
Maybe he's fearing that Benjamin is holding in his hand, I don't know,
surprise,
B-strings and a Blacephalon, which is definitely not what he holds.
No.
So, Xander is...
I'm trying to work out if he can sequence his hand thin enough. He doesn't really need to. He can just KO this and just attack normally.
Yeah. That's sometimes the problem about the deck with the Roxy. That's a fair point to you because they might thin their hand, but then they draw the 6 cards.
Yeah. And then you can't Miss Magius if you need it.
Yeah. It kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah. It's a deck that I honestly find... So I did put some hours into it. And I just find it's like, well, it's not as good as just the normal one. I will just play the normal one. This is just better, surely.
I don't know. I really liked it, to be fair. Drawing 6 cards once again. And, it's not the only deck that is using the Roxy. We saw the... he found another Poipole.
He also has a stamp, and he knows Xander's hand's pretty big. Like, he knows Xander is trying to struggle to sequence the hand.
Yeah,
but
he saw him counting many times.
Yeah, so and you can see him going, well, maybe if I just stamp him he's still going to have a hand that's basically too big.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I don't want to.
And you can see it, and it's one of my favorite things watching Benjamin play is he's actually one of the few players who are like super
Let's do it
expressive
again.
on,
Yes.
on screen.
Yes, you can see
Like you can see his face going, but what do I do now?
And I think he's conscious of the situation. He's a bit laughing behind his mouth. And he's saying, well, what am I going to do here? Should I just go to game 2? Just keep dragging
No,
it?
I think it was working out if he wants to put. If he even wanted to do anything to this mismatch.
Yeah,
It's just like, well, if I just
exactly.
leave it here, what are you going to do?
He evolves into the... So he's not burned and confused, so he doesn't get knocked out because he
Mhm.
was still burned. But I think it's going further than that, is he? Can he discard his
Well,
item?
I think he must have counted it that if he does it this turn instead, he should be okay, right? Because you go, well, I
Mhm.
draw one card, but then I can play my supporter and I can do all these things.
Yep.
Um,
You know what he might be able to do right now is using the Gengar Mimikyu to look at the opponent's hand and see
Mhm.
what is going on here.
Mhm.
Like, I'm going to poltergeist you, and if I see
Cards in hand.
nothing is in your hand, I'm
5.
just going to keep pressuring you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to go.
Well, how much is
for-
podcast even doing right now? I think it's like 150. I think I saw
yes, I
3
think there are
trainers.
there's a
So-
Lysandra Labs.
so-
No, maybe just 100 actually. There's just Reset Stamp and Lysandra Labs.
Okay, yeah, it was only the 2, right? So that's 100. So it's still a 2-hit knockout. It's really putting
Mhm.
like. If,
Yeah,
is
right
that
now,
going, I'll just take the KOs
Wow,
then.
a top deck. That's a hit factory.
That's a huge
Ooh.
top deck.
Done my shift everything. He might be able to draw the
He's
first
played a
supporter of
card.
the game.
He's played a card that's
Yes,
going to his
that's
discard
incredible.
pile on
We see a
turn
welder.
4.
Oh, if he draws the catcher as well off that welder, does he have 2 energies? No, he has no energies. No, but he
He's-
can use the Mysterious Treasure to get the Naganadel GX.
Yeah.
Naganadel GX discarding Naganadel, and maybe he gets somewhere.
Yeah, he's finding a way out of the forest of bricks that he's
Yes.
currently living in, where he's going, I'll just
My
discard a
first deck
welder.
search.
Let's just hope we can
Um,
get an out. Annoyingly, having played the
Impressive.
Heat Factory this turn, he now no longer has access to the giant
So,
half out.
Yeah. Or Ultra Space even to set further, which
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if Xander is a really good player, and he played it a bit slowly. It might pay off in the long run, but for the moment, it seems like Benjamin might be able to take
Mhm.
the lead. Hopefully, we'll see what's happening in soon. So right now, if Benjamin has not played the supporter yet,
Mhm.
he discarded Welder with the Mysterious Treasure. So if he finds 2 energies of this, and maybe, say, a great catcher,
Mhm.
he has the knockout. And this is going to be very, very
Yeah.
relevant.
Well, and if he can take 3 prize cards here, he's
Mhm.
almost certainly drawing a B string.
Yeah.
If you look at the way his prize
Yeah,
cards are set
yeah.
up, and energy,
Exactly.
which means that he's almost certainly going to be able to go, okay, well, if I can take one knockout, I'm going to
Mhm.
set myself up. But even if you
Indeed,
respond, I'll
indeed.
just do it again.
Let's see. That's an
So ultra
Naganadel
conversion.
energy.
I saw 1.
Yeah. Well, he didn't attach for turn, did he?
No.
So he can still do it.
And he can,
So
and he
shadow.
has a Naganadel in hand, another Naganadel,
Yeah.
so he can
So he
get it
might
from
be able to
discard.
accelerate 1 energy more. So if he finds a catcher, maybe Benjamin can go for this gamble, which I
Yeah.
do like. Energy on the purple on the bench. Fair enough.
So here we go,
1.
like drawing it off the screen.
3. I don't think there
I
is there.
don't see it.
No. He does
But-
have a psychics, so he might be able to set up maybe something with Naganadel for
Yeah,
the
he
long
might just
run.
prepare it for
Yeah.
later, pick things up
Mm.
from the bench.
And let's see if he wants to evolve as well, that Poipo. Because to be fair, like the Naganadel with the charging up ability, you do like them.
Yeah.
But what if you have a Zork
I can
GX
do it, right?
that is sort of better?
Yeah.
Sometimes, obviously.
Yeah, his list is playing 2 of the GX, 3 of the non-GX.
Mhm,
So
exactly.
he wants to make sure he always has the ability to go, well, I need to draw a load of cards.
Mhm.
But
And for
also,
Balsefon as well. You usually
Yeah.
need just what?
Yeah.
2, maybe 3
yeah,
sometimes.
especially if you know that you can hit,
Yeah.
like if you can force them into B-string
How many
turns.
cards in hand?
And you know
Yeah.
what's interesting? He does not play the Heatran.
10.
The Heatran GX, which I think is
No.
a really good attacker in the Blacephalon GX deck. But
He's playing a copy of the Oricorio.
yeah, he's playing the Oricorio.
Which-
He's going for consistency.
Yeah.
I saw it being played as well, but he does not play the Iceland Challenge Amulet, I think it's called.
Yeah,
The one that reduces 100 HP and take 1 of the spice card, which I do like with the Oricorio,
yeah.
because then it just becomes, I don't care if you knock it out, you're not going to win like this, because it becomes sort of a Dene, the
Yeah.
Oricorio.
It
Sort of a
lets you draw
free.
without having to commit too much, but
Yes.
he's...
So right now he went, I think, for a reset stamp from
Yep.
Benjamin's side, and he's going for the knockout. I do like this, because
Yeah.
in this way he sort of cuts off.
Well, he
Xander.
knows that Xander wants to knock that out
Yeah.
this turn to draw an extra couple of
Yeah,
cards.
and remember, still no greens.
Yeah, and still no greens in, but he does get the Wheezing and Roxy,
Wow, yeah,
so he does have enough in hand to do the knockout, I think.
exactly. And he might be able, if he discards the Wheezing, he shuts off the Naganadel GX
Yep.
ability, which I think it's really needed right now. He might want to spike. He does not discard it. He discarded, I think, a Miss Magius and Mimikyu that copies the attack. Wow, what is going on through Xander's head right now? I'm pretty sure he has a plan that we mortals cannot see at the moment.
This might be why I don't think this is a good deck, because I don't understand. This is often how I find
it's
it
like
testing.
that Persian checkmate deck. You're like, how did it get there? I just lose when I play it. Just random things, then I Naganadel jacks him.
Yeah,
maybe happens.
Energy spinner, getting into the fighting energy. So he has keeps his attachments going.
Energy on there.
Maybe he's going for the Poltergeist option, but then he would have promoted the Gengar.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's just setting it up for late game purposes.
Yeah, so maybe he's just going to do a 40 linear attack. No, it's okay, just 2-hit KO instead.
That's fair enough. Or you know what he might be doing right now? He might be able to skip B-strings in his way.
Yeah, sure.
So he wants to do probably next turn Roxy for 2 Weezings and then knock out the Naganadel as well.
Yeah.
That means no B-strings. And no B-strings usually means I won the game.
Especially against a deck that you can see only has access to one Naganadel right now. Like,
but if I think Benjamin has the welder in hand. No, he doesn't.
He does have his Zen.
If he did have the welder, he could have probably accelerated enough energies to knock him out.
Yep.
Right now he's missing 1, which is... Did he attach for turn?
I think that was his turn attachment, yep.
No, that was the charging.
Oh, that was charging up. So he hasn't attached for turn yet.
He might have had to the Blacephalon. We didn't pay attention. Sorry, guys. But... Yeah, he's using Ultra Space right now. Gets another Blacephalon, fair enough.
Yep. Force them into a B-string turn this way.
Yeah, he might have noticed that he has some B-strings in the prizes, so... But Benjamin... I mean, right now, you probably cannot say who has the upper end for the moment.
Well, I think it really depends on
what Benjamin is doing.
If Benjamin can hit the KO this turn,
exactly.
Which he has the attachment. So he has the attachment for turn as well, right?
I think so. I think so.
So he has 6 energy. So if he could throw everything in the bin and get the KO.
Yeah.
It's a big risk, and you're kind of hoping then that Xander actually does take the KO, so that you're able to be a string and do it again.
Yep.
But this would let Benjamin take a fairly substantial lead.
Okay. He's going for the attachment on the Blacephalon.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. And he's just going for the best in burn. That's another play. I mean, those lists with Garchomp and Giratina, they do play Fuse Witches. They play, I think, the list that did really well. I think the won a regional was... And yeah, you can see actually, we have his list, obviously. And he just plays 1 switch and 1 Malo and Lana. So that's the only 2 switches that he has. He does obviously have tag calls, maybe to search it. But he just has those 2. So he needs to take the 50-50 right now. And if he does fail with the 50-50, if he's not able to double retreat...
They make Benjamin's life a lot easier.
Yeah, but I think he has a tag call in hand. So he might just be able to get... what is it called? The Malo and Lana. But at the same time, if he does that, he needs to have also Surge to be able to Roxy. So Benjamin actually bought himself a turn, which is
so that was Treasure for the Weezing.
Yep.
Tag Call
for the Malo and Lana.
For the Malo and Lana. So probably going to look to set it up this turn, right?
Yeah.
Just go Malo Lana into the Gengar.
Indeed.
But this way, I mean, you can't play around the B-string this way. But
exactly. One play as well could be to GX, discarding those, maybe the Naganadel that gives the energies, because you don't really care about, I mean, you do care if your opponent keeps accelerating those energies. And there's the Surge! So you might be able to do this turn.
So you might be able to Surge.
Draw 6 cards.
6 cards.
Malo and Lana.
And switch.
That might be really good. Yeah. I mean, he also can just attach to the Mimikyu and retreat. I think he has an energy. Yeah, he has a fight. The last fighting, actually.
So Surge.
Spread 2.
Weezing for 2. 2 prize cards.
Takes the knockout.
See, again, this is why Benji's one of my favorites on the stream. You can see his eyebrows just go, wow, okay.
He activated my trap card, Xander knows. Oh, and now he needs to... So before Xander does anything, it's the Mars Shadow.
Yeah.
Kind of a cannon fodder, but let's see if I don't think Xander has the catcher, does he?
No, not like you
before you use Pokegear and you reveal 2 and you draw none, I think. Okay, 2 heads on the lure ball. 3 heads. That, my friend, is called
he's going to get all the Weezings back.
3, there it is.
The 3 Weezings back out of the discard pile.
Wow.
So, at this point, we can
safely say that... And once again, he goes for another Roxy. I do like this play, because if he did not... You can still catch her right now. and he will just take the 50-50 maybe, or even just retreat, manually discarding all those energies. He does not really care about that. And using the Great Catcher to take a knockout maybe on the Naganado, so also shutting off his... oh, but he doesn't even have the switch! He dropped the switch, guys! It's over! Maybe it's over. Because he still has some energies on board. Let's see what he's going for. So Great Catcher, discards...
Cards
let's
in
see,
hand.
Mischievous, he's thinking about
6.
it. But at the same time, right now, you see, as you said, Benjamin is very expressive, and he understands that maybe it's over for him.
So
And also a power plant to shut off the Naganelo GX ability, which was shut off anyway by the Mimikyu, but just another nail in the coffin maybe. Let's see if Benjamin can get out of this. He does have the knockout if he draws Blacephalon and a Welder with 2 energies, but you know, it's not looking great for him. And he might be happy right now even to have those 2 B-strings in the prizes, because right now they're useless cards. So Benjamin plays the Reset Stamp, puts Xander back to 2 card, and remember, he does still have some greens which are just dead cards for the moment in the deck. And Benjamin needs to be also careful about the amount of trainers that he has in his hand, because if he does have too many, he might be able to just...
it's a horrible trap to be in, of
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I have to use all my trainers quickly.
I really like the tech. Xander really got the tech for this game. I think he drew... it was too quick for me to see. So Benjamin, right now, just considering his options, plays a Cherish Ball, looks for a Blacephalon. There is a power plant in play, so, and he has a Dedenne, so he might be stuck here, but I'm pretty sure he has a stadium. Yeah, there is an Ultra Space. So Blacephalon goes to the bench, Ultra Space. Let's see, he might be able to just remove 1 card from the deck. He still cannot use Ultra Conversion, so he cannot maximize the effort for that. But I don't see any Welder. Let's see how many Welders. He does play 4 Welders, and I think he played 3, if I'm correct. None are in the prizes, nor in the hand. But I don't think I saw one in the deck. It's probably there, I probably just missed it.
Yeah, so... it's tricky... like, this is a horrible situation to be if you're Benjamin, right?
Yeah.
Because your best option for coming back into the game is gone.
Yep.
And you have to take a KO this turn, or basically that's it.
He's gonna draw 9 cards though.
Yeah, it's a big dig.
Let's see.
There's Labs
There's
again,
a
I
Great
think.
Catcher, no energies.
No.
Aye. Probably just tries to finish out his deck. I think he has 1 Welder left in the deck.
I think
and
so.
that might be... So guys, bless RNG. He needs to find it. We can see what he got. I think it's the Naganelo Jax. I can see the Dragon Collar. But yeah, this game is not over yet. That's also the power of Blacephalon. Now that... Before, you just had those B-string turns. You just had the B-string, you hit it, and probably you win the game if you play 4 B-strings. Right now, it's a bit more difficult than that. He draws 1 energy right now, but I don't think it's gonna... He has a Cynthia for digging for more cards, but that means no acceleration on the on the Blacephalon. I think Benjamin is shaking his head. I think he realized at this point this might be the end. Another Cherish Ball. More cards to fin out, but yeah, Benjamin is really looking around. You still have 29 minutes on the clock, so he has all the time if he wants to just go to game 2 and game 3. And you know, before we were discussing like this Tina Chomp deck, which I think is a really sweet spot in the meta. Blacephalon Jax, first of all, is not the most common deck that you could see at tournaments, and so you don't have anymore those one-shot meta. I think we shifted a lot to a 2-shot meta, in which Pokemons try to, I mean, generally decks try to take 2 knockouts. For example, Gardevoir does that very well. Pikarom is a bit dead, so it's not really there anymore. Malamar, of course, has just 1 or 2 one-shot options, but just try to grind out your opponent. So Xander right now in his hand, I think he has Mars Shadow. I'm not sure if he plays it.
I think there was a copy of Marshadow.
Let's see.
When I looked,
no, there's
okay.
not. There's a Psychic Pokemon, I don't know what it is, and a Mysterious Treasure, so not the best hand. And once again, Benjamin is going for that Bursting Burn, putting Xander to take a difficult decision here, actually, because he might be able to retreat and put the Gengar Mimikyu and hope for a knockout. But if he fails to do that, then Benjamin might be able to respond with a knockout on the Gengar Mimikyu and leaving the Garchomp Giratina with no energies on the board. So he goes for a Misdreavus, probably just spinning out his deck. In this way, he might be able to just, you know, it's also one of those things that at the beginning I didn't understand when I started playing Pokemon. Like, why do you thin your deck? It doesn't make sense. Like, there are cards, you know, that can be useful at some point.
Well, it's a really weird, like, it's hard to unlearn, right? Because what you want to do when you start playing is you want to use every card.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like, you've got the card, you play it, which is actually thinning your deck, which is good practice. But at a certain point, you also have to learn when not to use cards. When you want to go, I'll save those for later. And it's a really bad. It's a hard trade-off to find. If like, well, I need to use these cards, but also not throw all of them away. And especially, it's remembering when you're thinning your deck, keeping like an extra copy of Tag Call. Very good, because it means that if you get stuck to one, you have the Tag Call as the out as well as the extra thing. So it's like working at what you should be thinning is a skill that takes a lot of learning.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly, guys, if you're watching this, that means you want also to be better. And trust me, these are the people you want to learn. Because these guys have so many tournaments. We just saw before, like, so much experience.
Well, these are the groups of players that, like, if you walk into a room and these guys are talking Pokemon, I often think, I consider that I might know a thing or two about the game.
You might shrink away from the room.
But I walk into the room when these guys are having a chat, I'm like, I don't even... the level of conversation is so high.
Exactly.
Sometimes, and he's just like, I'm just going to leave. I'm clearly not a big brain enough for this.
Yeah, exactly. And we see he's going for the GX. So the Horror House GX from Gengar and Mimikyu. I think it's when he has an extra energy, you draw... both players draw up to 7. And then it's and then the player cannot play any card, I think.
Yeah,
but
there's no cards from hand next turn.
Exactly, but Benjamin can still confuse him, so he's still in the same spot, maybe. The 50-50. That's interesting. And I think Xander also used all of his energies. Oh no, he drew one. No, he's still in the prizes. That must be his last energy. Let's see.
There's not many left. There's definitely not many
he
left.
just plays 9 energies. So let's see what Xander can pull off here.
Yeah,
he does have a Pokegear. He thinks about it.
But there's not many supporters left in deck either at this point, I don't think. He's used most of them, so even that wouldn't... is not a tough deck you want. He's actually double-checking. It's like, well...
Yeah. Also, you should be careful to mill himself because of that Roxy.
Yeah, you don't accidentally Roxy yourself for 6 cards and go, whoops.
So, Xander is understands that if he's able to Poltergeist, it's pretty granted. He's going to draw it. He's going to draw... I mean, he's going to hit for a lot of damage. A lot of energies have come out from Benjamin's side. A lot of are in the discard. And I think he knows that if he is able to Poltergeist, he takes the knockout. But then, if he fails, then Benjamin wins.
Yep. And it really does come down to... like this is one of the best things about these games, right? Is it comes down to, right, okay, I've set it up. But occasionally, it's not just like set it up and there's no way your opponent has an out. It's like, okay... if they see it and they hit it, it's all good. But Malolana now...
yeah, but he still needs a way to retreat. Does he have it?
He can knock out the Mismagius. If he evolves the Mismagius...
oh, yes, of
course. He can just knock it out again.
Of course. Well said, well said.
It's actually basically like... it's why this deck plays so few retreat cards.
It's because...
you just go, well... I'll just draw some cards and also do it. It's pretty cool.
And I'm pretty sure he sees it. He's even thinking about discarding. Maybe he does not. I mean, he's thinking. Yeah,
again, it's just that he's got to thin down to get down to the 7 again.
Like he already has 7 cards, so he cannot go more than that.
Yep.
So just Malolana. You see, even if he is pretty granted to hit those big numbers, Xander, you see the level of play. He's thinking about it.
And again, it's always the thing of just because it seems like the right play immediately. Sometimes you have to go right, double check. And this is where these players get rid of the mistakes.
Exactly.
Right? Like there are lots of players that are pretty good. Benji's like, that's game 2. Let's go to game 2 because there's no way out of that situation for me.
Exactly. He just don't even want. He doesn't even want to show his hand. He's just saying, okay, listen. We both know what's going on here.
It's like, oh, yep, you've got it all. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and shuffle.
So yeah, now we're going to game 2 with 23 minutes on the clock.
Yeah,
I think that's
plenty of time.
Yeah, also for like a game 3 possibly.
Yeah,
because you know the Blacephalon, if he's able to welder every turn.
Well, this is the thing: is that game was a fairly long game, about half hour for game 1, but that was actually realistically because both players had the awful first 5 turns.
Yeah.
Where it's just attach. Guess you can
I
play the game
now. You can God. That's pretty much it. So yeah, we'll see how the second game goes, because Blacephalon has this big RNG. It's sort of a deck like Malamar, but better. Just saying. But Blacephalon also can hit those really big numbers out of nowhere, and that's probably most of its strength. Xander was really, really smart from escaping those beast rings, just skipping over them. But if he's not able to next game by whatever reason, he might be able to play in the long run. But thanks to Welder, Benjamin can also play the aggressive game.
Yeah. Well, it's actually something that you're sort of a spread deck, and spread decks are historically the decks that have played best around the kind of like the beast ring cards, because you can just go, well, I can set it up to like take 4 prizes in a weird way.
Exactly.
But then it's not one of those spread decks where it's kind of a simple way of spotting these things. It's not like, okay, well, just all the numbers happen to add up at the same turn. You have to really specifically go, well, 40 goes here, then 20 goes here later, and as a result, numbers happen.
Exactly.
And it
takes the big brain.
It takes the really big brains to be able to play these decks as we get underway in game 2.
Exactly. So let's see how the prizes. We have a Hit Factory from Benjamin and a Psychic. He runs just one copy of the Psychic, but he still has the Beast Energy if he wants to hit with the Naganadel Jacks. Just one Beast Ring. From the side of Xander, nothing.
Yeah, nothing too big in there.
Weakness energy.
The greens is actually annoying because
I think he started with greens in his end.
No, that's okay then.
Exactly. And also, we were talking about this recent set, Cosmic Eclipse, that brought us Tag Call. It brought us also so many tag teams supporters, which are insane. Like Symphony Catalin, it's like a Luzamine on steroids.
Yeah.
You cannot, like, you draw 3 cards and you get back a supporter?
Well, so you know there's like that card that's printed in like the base set of every like new thing, which is like How or Charon or whatever else it's been called. It's that, but also you get to get a supporter back.
It nets you 1 card more than How.
Yeah.
And you could have that argument, but it does not make sense. You just want to like get a supporter back, and especially in green and Welder decks, that's great.
Yeah, as we see the greens straight away, Xander's like, okay, all right, well, what's in the hand? Double check, make sure everything is in deck. Tag call seems like a good idea.
The big brain is already working. He's already thinking, oh yeah, in turn 3 we'll do this, turn 4 we'll do that. And he takes a switch and a tag call.
Yeah, so
he probably wants to dodge the
confusion again.
Yeah.
So this will likely be looking at a way to set up a Miss Vegas on the bench, so that if he does get burning confused, he can just retreat. Well, we'll switch, knock out, draw some cards, get himself set up.
Message, I think it's called, the ability of Miss
something like that.
Yeah. And actually, he changed his mind. He's going for Duskstone. And Duskstone is a very interesting card. Back in my days, we had BTS, and that was a stadium. But right now, Duskstone is one of those few cards that is able to skip the rule that once you play Pokemon, you cannot evolve.
It's actually as far as I remember, the only one currently legal, because Wally is expanded as well.
There is a Flabébé that has that ability.
Also banded, expanded.
Yeah, exactly. Expanded, guys.
As we see the energy spinner for the full effect, because it's
going second. Insane value.
It's always nice. Like it's a super nice card in greens decks, because it basically lets you always search for an energy if you need it.
Exactly. And green decks sometimes have these problems in which they cannot set up energies.
Yep.
And as well, right now that Chaotic Swell is a very common card in a lot of decks, especially in ADP, which seems to be kind of the deck that is keep dragging out. We just saw it ADP from Pedro that had a bad matchup against Pidgeotto, but he still was able to drag out. I think that you need to play Energy Spinner rather than, I don't know, Viridian, for example, which could grant you some values over the long run. And especially in for example, the Garchomp Giratina does not play any other stadium but 2 Power Plant, I think. Let's double check that. He just plays 1 Power Plant actually, only 1, because obviously he's relying on the Mimikyu to shut off the abilities. But
you see that, so I think he's already got the greens in hand for next turn. Yeah. He's just trying to work out tag calling and what he's going to go get. So as he's going to switch this turn.
Interesting. He probably
so maybe he's worked out that
maybe knock out this guy and
I mean it's the same net effect, right? It basically
he also
he's doing
his end I think is pretty thick. Right now he cannot discard any card.
Really here he's just going, well, as long as you don't KO or like confuse the Giratina and I can just take the knockout next turn, I'll do that then.
Yeah, Welder for 1 energy. Busted. Insane.
Yeah, it's
always sad.
It always feels bad, but it still gets you 3 cards from the top of the deck that you draw.
Why did they have to add that effect? Already attaching 2 fires was insane.
Yeah. I mean, Blacksmith was an engine
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a load of decks, and now it's like, oh well, what if we just do it from hand,
Here's
but
your
also you
big
draw?
brother, and that's it. And but we have because when it in Pokemon, there's always this effect of cards that either they're really bad or really good. Like the Masked Royal, I'm thinking about right now. That's just one energy, like one basic energy, to one of your evolved Pokemons. That's so bad.
Yeah, as well as it's like, oh, just do two.
Welder, that's it.
Um,
So right now, Ultra Space, final Benjamin is setting up. I don't think we'll have the shenanigans of the last games.
yeah, you can see he's already got a couple of attachments.
Yeah,
He's got.
he has a beast energy, so maybe I might be able to. Yeah,
He actually
I think
can
that's really
just.
smart. Just needs to
do-
start one energy that way.
Yeah, just prod and KO the Misdreavus basically.
And he may. That's very smart
Yeah,
to
you may as well.
discard the beast energy, because in this way, if he gets knocked out, which is threatening at the moment from Xander side, he still has one energy in the discard that he might be able to get back. So let's see if Xander is able to set up and skip over this beast ring. Benjamin, I think for the moment, has the upper hand. It is really.
It looks like it at the minute.
Blacephalon finally shows off how much damage it can do, how much quick it can be once all the gear turn in the correct way. And yeah, Xander is going for a green exploration. He gets an attack call and a karate belt. He's just saying, well, listen, I'm just gonna set up for now. You do whatever you can, and if you can knock me out, well.
Yep.
He might even go for the. No, actually, he cannot go for the GX because the
Yeah,
GX
there's no
takes
need
two
here.
sidekicks and one fighting.
Also, here he doesn't really get any value because anything
Yeah.
he discards, there's another version of somewhere
Yeah,
already in
exactly.
play, so that there's actually no value to discarding any of it. But he does now basically get set up. He has the option to do the 140 base, if I remember correctly.
160, I think.
160, yeah, that's right. It's 80 more.
Yeah.
It's 160.
Which is great because Blacephalon has 180,
Yeah.
and that puts him in range
of Weezing.
for the Roxy.
Yep.
That's great.
So it actually means that he could do it the same thing again as he could do 160 into double Roxy, and then if he also has a way of getting the other Blacephalon, 4 prizes.
That's gone. No beast ring for you.
So it just looks like the numbers happen to work out perfectly for this exact matchup.
Let's see how it goes. He grabbed Symphony Cataline and the Gengar Mimikyu. The Gengar Mimikyu is really interesting. Also, he has it's good against ADP because those are really big Pokemons, but that deck plays a lot of trainers as well, a lot of supporters. It's good. I don't know. It's good also for donking. Sometimes you might be able to just, hey, Horrorhouse GX, your turn. My turn? Horrorhouse Poltergeist. Yeah, win the game.
But we see now 140 damage onto the Blacephalon.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Yeah, the 160 really matters right now. Now he's going for a Mysterious Treasure, probably another Poipole, I'm going to guess.
Could also be for the Naganadel if he feels he needs too many
he
cards to get
also
this
has
turn off.
access to the Ultra Space, so
Yeah, so it'll be both.
Yep, there it is. Poipole, let's see. He's scanning through his deck. I think he saw some welders. He stopped for a second on there, and he has the Oricorio. He might want to bench that, but I don't think it's going to be very relevant in this match.
So now he's very carefully making sure that he's showing that like what order he does.
He grabs actually a Blacephalon, not the Naganadel GX. Interesting. Well, obviously, if he did grab the Naganadel GX, he did not have a discard, anything to discard with the effect. So and he attaches an energy just on the Blacephalon, so he's kind of saying, hey, listen, I'm just going to burn and confuse you again.
Yep.
But you have to do that. And I did play, I remember, a match against Garchomp Giratina with Blacephalon, and every time I burned him, he had like Malon and Switch. I was like, I can't do anything.
And this is why the Roxy Chomp version is worse. This is why I dislike this deck, right? You have to take these cards out.
That's true. You do discard some of the switches and Malon, which I think is a really good card, especially the popularity of Malamar, especially locals, because of its cheap, how much cheap it is, and at the same time it's very easy to play. And Malon just says, you just attacked me.
Nope.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
And this is my point, is that for the benefit that you get of the extra draw, admittedly, and the ability to do some nice spread damage with the Weezings, it takes away a lot of the toolbox that you had access to.
One thing that I really like, however, is that against the stall, or both the Doll Stall and the PJ Auto, you're able to do, with the Roxy Chomp, set up very nice damage that you're going to just finish off with the Blacephalon from Cosmic Eclipse, because you just knock out 3 of your Mismagius, and that's it. You have the opponent will always have 3 prizes.
So that was Cynthia Caitlin for
I think he got back
greens. I think it was the greens he used on turn 1, which means no Roxy this turn to take the 2 to take the KO. I don't see any way of retreating in hand.
I don't think so as well. There's nothing at the moment. And he plays the supporters, so no.
Yeah, so it's probably just like he either wants to take the 50-50, or
I don't think Xander is that.
I don't think you take it either.
Yeah.
I think you just go, well, we'll just accept.
To be fair, no, it's actually quite relevant because if it takes 3 damage and then the burn damage,
It takes it enough to be
1
4
energy
discard.
less for the Blacephalon player.
Well, actually, at this point, it puts it down to exactly 4 energy on the discard. If he doesn't flip and just passes, it keeps it at 5, which means that it's a full board worth of energy right now.
Yeah.
Which is a really big deal.
Let's see what Xander can pull off here. He might just want to retreat into the Miss Vegas, but no, actually the Giratina retreats 3 energies, right?
So he'd have to use his attachment. So this is actually really stuck him in an awkward spot of going.
Oh, he's going for it.
Do I flip?
Skill.
Well.
And that takes the knockout though, so that means B-strings.
Yep.
I thought he was
could
going
be
for
punished.
linear attack.
This could easily.
And also heads.
On the burn.
No, that's heads, so that's fine for
that's
him.
fine. There's no burn. But now.
Yeah.
It's basically, does Benjamin have the beast? Well, he has 1.
Yeah, he has 1.
So.
But does he have anything else? He played the Xander Labs, shutting off his own ultra space. So that means no Naganelo GX.
But he's just going to go, right, cool, I'm just going to take this knockout. And also, he knows now that the only response that Xander's going to have access to immediately next turn is the Gengar Mimikyu.
Exactly.
And
but at the same time, his hand is filled with Pokemons and energies.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So he knows full well that he's like looking at his hand, going, "Hey, I'm completely safe to beast ring and just go in now." Like
1 energy more.
You're not doing 180 off of this.
And he has, I think, a catcher is what he drew. But yeah, he's just going for it. He's saying, "Hey, listen, that's 5 energies for you. 250."
Yep.
Takes the knockout.
That is a big mind blown.
Oh, wait a second. He had the Xander Labs. Could he attack? He had the Xander Labs in play, and he had the belt.
This is true. The KO actually wouldn't have happened, I think.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah, true.
I didn't think of that.
No.
Obviously, like, if I didn't think of that, probably... Is there a table judge?
I can't see a table judge there.
But that's a problem. That's a big... Can anybody clip that?
Yeah.
Any point, chat?
And we'll need to stop. We need to stop the game.
Yeah, stop the game, please. Could chat confirm that, please?
Yeah, I'm.
Because I might be wrong. Like you. But there was Xander Labs in play for sure. Yeah. Unless he played this turn, which I don't think he did.
So. It looked very much like there was a Lysander's Labs. No, wait, it's fine. You would have used linear attack. Either way, you could have used linear attack to take the KO anyway.
Sorry, guys.
Just work that out. He wouldn't. I didn't know which attack he declared, but
I don't know either.
Linear attack was always okay in that case.
Guys, remember that we did not hear what the players are saying, so I think everything is fine right now. Sorry about that.
So it's all okay.
It's all okay.
But. Yeah, so he would have always had the option. If he had declared the illegal attack, he would have just gone back to linear attack anyway, because that's how the rule works on that. So to take the KO on the Blacephalon a couple of turns ago. Meanwhile, as play continues, it's Xander's now having to find, can he get to a knockout on this Blacephalon? If not, well, he's in another Beast Ring turn for Benjamin.
I don't know if he has the energy in the hand.
Not that well, he might do, but I don't think I saw it. But he
has a
rainbow, and he can Roxy's anyway. So
Roxy for 1. I mean,
for
one
Wheezing, and then a boatload of cards anyway.
6 cards. Also Psychic, don't need to take the extra damage.
Then
1 damage on everything.
Setting it all up.
Attack call as well. Thinning out his deck.
Yep. Well, so he's playing a Stamper deck, which means that I find that when I'm playing a deck that relies on your opponent having to make sure they thin out, I'm even more careful about it because I'm like, well, they could do it to me too. But making sure he just thins his deck, gets the Guzma Hala for maybe another energy next turn. It means he can go get a rainbow or Witness Guard energy from his deck. He's just going to go ahead and play.
Bench, the Gengar Mimikyu. And he's reading it. Better it is.
This is well, so I can guarantee that this is not the first time he's seen the card.
Yes,
but he's just double checking. He's like, did I mess that up? Am I okay
At the same time, Benjamin could I think Xander here. Oh, he's going for reset stamp for just 2 cards. Interesting.
Okay, so he must be going for the
Horror
Horror House.
Yeah, so he draws 7 more cards. He probably said, well, last turn he didn't play any items,
Yeah.
and you know there's a Gengar Mimikyu.
So he's just
Why
going
would
for
he
the
do
Horror
that?
House this turn. And this means he can basically set up for over 2 turns, right?
Mhm.
Of everything's got damage counters on it now, so the Giratina will take a knockout on everything.
Yep.
You can just Horror House, go, well, you can just poke me for burn and confusion.
Which could become relevant at a point.
Yeah, well, it
but
means Xander needs to have the switch out, but look at the size of his hand after the couple
Yes.
of Roxy's. Like,
Probably
you'll
has
probably
it.
find it. In fact, we saw off the. We've already seen the Malolana, and he took the switch much earlier in the game. I don't think he's
Mhm.
played it yet. Oh no, he did play the switch, right?
Yeah, he did.
So is he not out of?
Yeah, I think he has a Malolana. I think the card he's holding is Tambon, is Guzmahala, and then there's a
Yeah.
Malolana next to it.
So he can
Yeah,
get
but
the switch.
actually, next turn, Xander needs to have the counter stadium if he wants to take the knockout with the guy.
Yeah.
So burn and confuse, any damage.
It's
Let's
a
see
good
what the
job
flip
that they
is.
brought their burn markers.
Yes.
It's a card.
We have like a million
Yeah.
on table, but they brought their own,
but-
which is fine.
But 20.
Let's see
damage
what
is very
Xander
relevant.
can do here.
Well, he's behind, so he could even surge Roxy's if he has it all. But I don't think he has Roxy's, but no surge from what I can see.
Yeah, and the order does not work in that way, so
Nope.
he needs to play first. Let's see what he can pull off. He does have 2 Weezings, but maybe, there's a point there that against big Pokemons, or like semi-big GX Pokemons, probably Blacephalon is the only thing that enters that category. I don't think there's any other deck that is just GXs at the moment. Maybe
well,
the Persian.
Yeah, some of the some of the
that's it.
checkmate stuff.
But like, not right now. The meta is very tag team oriented. It's just so good. There's so much support for it. There is tag call. There is the tag supporters. You just have always what you want.
yeah, so we
and
just see Roxy for double Weezing.
6, yeah.
So
he does have the power plant, so that's the counter stadium he needs.
Yeah, and I don't see an energy. Oh, see the energy at the bottom.
Yeah, he
but
does have an energy.
do we have a counter gain or a
shoe.
karate belt?
I don't see it.
No. Which would mean that it's just another turn of basically a pass.
He might just retreat,
Yeah.
or maybe go for the
Well,
flip.
actually, the retreat's not. You have to if you do retreat, you have to go to Mischievous, right?
Yeah, of
Because-
course. And then then the opponent goes to 1 card,
Yeah.
and if you do draw whatever you need, then you might be able to pull off the game, Because then you
So-
reset stamp him as well to 1 card, so that might
Yeah.
even get you more turns. And oh wow, he's going for the Garchomp Giratina.
Well, it would still mean Benjamin still has to have
Needs,
the
like, yeah, a million energy.
energy plus Peace Ring.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
to
think he
hit.
has energy in the discard because the Naganil would do. So he
Yep.
takes a knockout on the Poipole, which I do
Yep.
like. That means 1 Naganil less. He has 2 energies in hand.
Okay, so it's 2 energy, and I didn't see that it's a trainer.
Yeah, I think it's an Ultra Space. I'm not sure.
Okay, so he can actually go for the
Another
next.
space, yes.
But the loss of the Poipole here is huge because now it's no Nagana Del
No,
GX to drawing
exactly.
cards. So
Not even extra energy, so I think he might be able to go for the burn. That's what he's done the past
yeah,
turns.
I
and
mean
it
it's worked,
out
right? Like
sometimes.
Xander has clearly not wanted to take the risks on
Yeah.
some of these attacks.
Exactly. At the same time, if he does go for the burn and confusion, Xander can Malin Lana, put on the whatever. To be fair, you can and then retreat again. Do 40 on the what is it called? The Marshadow.
Yeah.
And maybe still off the game, but that puts him in the range of getting knocked out. So it's a bit of a risk for both players. And once again, like when you have these really high caliber players, it always comes down to.
Well, they'll have a read on
Griffin
basically
line.
every card in that hand, right?
Exactly.
Because it'll be a game of, well, I know for a fact that he attached to the Mischievous,
Yeah.
not the Giratina, and have a switch,
Yeah.
which means that he doesn't likely have the tool.
And I do like Benjamin play right here. He just goes for the Burning Confusion, which really puts the green decks in an awkward situation, rather. Especially since green decks right now do not play any heals. Like, they do not play,
Okay,
what is it
Surge
called?
is huge.
Yeah, that's
Because
really
this now
huge.
lets him Surge if he has
And Roxy as
the Malolana. He can do that.
Yeah, he does have the Malolana for sure. And he can do another supporter, whatever he wants. We'll see.
There's no way of taking knockouts via Weezings this turn on the
No,
bench,
no,
so
not at the
there's no
moment.
way he could take all 3 prize
Shadow
cards
has
this year.
80 HP, I think.
Either way, it's more than 50.
It's more than 50.
Um,
So he's considering his options.
Yep. So he's definitely going to play the Surge first.
Yep.
Um,
There it is. Has a lure ball, has a lot of tools. He just needs to piece them together.
Yeah, he has the attachment. I still don't see the tool. Counter gain is prized, and we already know he's used the karate belt, right?
Yep,
so that's actually those are his 2 tools. So
yeah,
there's
there's
no way of attacking this turn.
1 karate belt and 1 counter gain, I think.
Yeah.
I can't see the counter gain.
So now
there it is. No.
Also, we're really close to time. Looking at it, the timer, I think that was only 1 heads on the lure ball.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes and 30 for them. So this might go to a tie, maybe.
Yeah.
But the game is still has to
so
be played.
just wheezing. It's like,
One,
he's like,
two.
he's spreading again. I'll get the dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a Miss Magus. So he might be able to just... How about his hand is too big for that?
Yep. This is why I don't like Roxy.
Fair enough.
Is you get to the point I mean, he's drawn his whole deck. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
But
he drew also 3 Miss Magus that you cannot really play. Just 1. And yeah, I think he has 1 Mysterious Treasure. He's going to burn his cards.
Yep. Just
even
thin it out.
Yeah. Bench some Pokemons. Maybe he gets there. And if he does, that means that he could do another 40, which is, I'm not sure, too relevant. I mean, he does take the knockout on the... But then he's in the knockout range. With just 1 energy from Benjamin hands. And let's see, he also has a reset stamp, which would reset stamp Benjamin back to 1.
Yeah, which I think is something that he's going to... Like, that's a card that's free this turn, right? Like, you may as well play it. There's literally no reason not to play it. Just get your opponent down to 1 card. You know you've made them play no cards the turn before.
Exactly. You just attach an energy, so you know those 2 cards might be energy, for example, because they're cards you cannot play only 1 per turn.
Yep. So we see the power plant. This means that we're almost certainly seeing the stamp now because this gets rid of the Dedenne out.
Exactly. And he might even be able to catcher the... No, actually that wouldn't be smart because that means that if he draws another... No, if he could just as a knockout if he has 1 energy in the discard. In any case, probably just leave that Blacephalon there. But then again, the problem is going to present itself again next turn. He played the green, actually.
Yeah.
I think he actually played the green. Or maybe he got it off Poke Gear. Didn't pay attention for a second there. Xander seems pretty chill, I think.
I mean, he's gone to the discard pile, so he played it. So he has the Malolana. But he has used his all...
Yeah,
he's used all of his surges. You see that it looks like Xander sorts his hand?
Yeah. Exactly.
I've just noticed
that's very interesting, especially with these big decks.
Yeah.
You go and you need to see what's going on.
Yep. So we see Miss Magius come in.
Miss Magus, yes, he does evolve it. Cannot retreat though.
No, there's no switch, which means that basically just has to pass. Like he hasn't got an option to retreat.
And he does not even have the counter gain to take the knockouts right now.
No.
Which would put him to 1 price still.
He still needs an attachment.
Yep.
He's still confused.
Yeah, he brought the dice near to him. It's happening. It's happening. And it's a
Tails. That's huge.
Yeah, I
think this basically means that Benji just can attach.
Yeah, if Benji has the energy, it's over, right?
Yeah, well, and it's also time on the round at the same time.
There it is.
And exactly at that moment.
And the tie again, guys. Back on the ties.
Yeah, so also and that's it. Yeah, we get the 1-1 draw. Benji basically surviving. Yeah. It felt like he was really clinging on in that second game.
Exactly. But in the end, it worked out for him.
Yeah, making sure he managed to kind of fight his way back from an awkward start in game 1. Never really got into game 1, but managed to basically then squeeze out the rest of the run.
But at the same time, it always feels when you're playing against the Tina Chomp that they have the upper hand. Yeah. They seem to just have the game in control because they can do so many things, like Lieutenant Surge, then heal their Pokemon, put damage on yours, take a big knockout, discard one of your Pokemon's snipe possibilities. I think it's a very good deck in that term.
Yeah, it has a lot of options available to it, and because it's the thing. It's fundamentally a stamp deck.
Exactly.
It's looking to go behind and then just go right. You're playing with a limited set of resources. I get what I want, so I'm gonna basically just do what I like in this game. And hopefully we'll be back shortly. There's a few games still going on, so we've only just hit time.
And sorry about before, chat. I was a bit too fast.
So we'll come back shortly for round 3.